Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Nip and a Half Fantasy Football Podcast on this Monday evening as we look ahead to a double header. We don't have many of these in the season, do we? There's only like 2 or 3 where we have these Premier League game weeks. Crazy periods. Paul, how are you? And how was your fantasy weekend?
I am okay, thanks, Fergi. Good weekend down in Barry
Barbados.
Yeah, I've had an okay week. Dream Team, which has been my Achilles heel all season. I've had a good week thus far in that. FPL, pretty standard average week, and yeah, good week in Telegraph as well.
Should we start on Telegraph? On your good week? How have you done there?
Yeah,
Who've been your key
I
players?
I have got it was 41 points for the week.
41?
Yeah, so if you recall, you and I had
Oh, I
a
forgot about this.
conversation
Just ruined my
um, last week, and I said, I'll look at potential moves, and from Gabriel, I was like, formation's a bit flexible. I might go Igor Thiago, and and your response, why would you not go Salah? And my response wasn't because I didn't think he was the best pick. It was because that was all I could afford. So,
It's
uh,
game.
but that's worked out very well for me. So he's got
Remarkably well.
17 points over the last 2 games. Could have been
To,
more if he had missed the penalty as well.
to, to
Um,
Salah's 2 points and an extra
yeah,
transfer out. For me,
yeah, because he's
already
going to
done, and for
AFCON.
many in waiting as well.
Yeah, and Thiago play. I know it's a game against Man City, but he could potentially play the cup game as well. So, albeit he has got a bit of a knock just now, so I'm not sure how many minutes, if any, he plays midweek. But no, that's worked out well for me. That was the real main point score. I have got Mateta in my team as well. Um,
Ta-ta-ta!
Mateta. Saka, who I've had in the team for a while,
Nice.
did well. And I did make one transfer at the weekend, just based on the volume of fixtures that Arsenal have got with the cup game coming up, and the fact that they played after Crystal Palace and the Sarr injury. So I moved Sarr onto Eze, as my move yesterday. So yeah, I think I'm set up pretty well. I've got 2 Arsenal defence, 2 Palace defence. I've got Njai, who will be going to AFCON, and I'm going to swap him to another Crystal Palace defender, possibly midweek. Semenyo, 2 Arsenal midfielders, Haaland, Mateta, and Thiago up front. So pretty solid setup. Outside, if I move Njai to Gehi, maybe that means that I've got 10 of my 11 still in the League Cup as well. I don't expect Raya to play, for example, but at the same time, I'm pretty happy with that setup as well. So, yeah, it's looking pretty good.
I'm the opposite. I'm using transfers, not looking good, and a move or two behind you as well, which is not where I want to be. But yeah, I made 2 transfers yesterday, pretty last minute. The Salah benching hurried sort of. Well, it didn't. I didn't have to do it, and I had to do it as part of a double move as well. Otherwise, I may not have done it. But I want because of the Sarr injury, I wanted to get to Saka, and the only way to do that was to sacrifice Salah for either I had Caliafiori or Rice, and I went for Caliafiori, which I still think is the right move. I still think defenders
Yeah.
overall, better value for Arsenal. But yeah, Truffert, 2.3 million starting Bournemouth defender has returned me a grand total of minus
With a good
one
fixture
from
run.
the
With a good fixture run.
-1 over the last 4 weeks. It's just been awful. They're playing Everton midweek, um, and I may get rid. Then I can't remember exactly, but I've got enough money to go him to Thiago. So that's what I mean about the being a move behind, and I'll be in 4-3-3 then, which I'm not particularly happy with because I do think 5 at the back is the way to go, but it's just what it is at the moment. So yeah, but then I realised once I do that, I'll have not even once I do. I've currently got 4 Palace, 4 Arsenal, 2 Bournemouth, one Man City, and Palace and Arsenal. Feel the place to go over the next few weeks. But they're playing
Yeah,
each other, aren't they, in the
yeah.
EFL? So you'll definitely have one going through the semi-final. But then if it's Arsenal, will they play? If it's Palace, will they play? Because they've just got so many matches. You just have no idea really. So I'm a bit disappointed. 2.8k. I'm trying to hold on this year and not slide back down to the sort of 5, 6, 7k because I do think it's hard. It's hard to recover from when you're down there. So I'm trying to just sort of stay positive and keep in the realm of 2 to 3k at the moment. But I'm finding it quite difficult and. I don't know what it is. These last 2 years in Telegraph, I just can't seem to um, get ahead of steam and have a good team which is making ground each week. Like I kind of have in Dream Team, I'm
Yeah.
making ground each week in Dream Team. I can't seem to quite get that in Telegraph, but
I think I made the when we were chatting through this yesterday. I made the point, and I think it is relevant that this year and last year it felt like it was very templatey, and therefore it was almost a race to the template.
yeah, I think you're
And
right.
if you made that first, like with the Arsenal Crystal Palace backline, sharing there. If you got to that fast, using minimal transfers to that point, I think you got off to a good start.
Yep, yep, finding it hard. And
But all's not lost.
go on.
All's not lost, though, right?
No,
Like
of
if you look at
course.
the
Oh no, definitely.
you look at the example last year when that big Newcastle fixture swing came in. That's where everyone made the big moves towards the tail end of last year.
No, no, it's not lost definitely. And I definitely have used way too many transfers for my liking. But I'm still there or thereabouts. I'm not like I'm 10k and I'm 50 or 100 points. Of where I want to be. I'm probably like 20, 30 points of where I want to be. I think in terms of
Yeah,
looking at my rivals and things. But you can make that back with either as a sort of lucky break, or probably just discipline and not just rushing things and things. But yeah, the Sarah and Salah thing with the Afcon stuff as well just made sense, and we'll just see how it goes.
yeah.
Let us know in the chat how you do in Telegraph if you're enjoying it this season, how you're getting on. Yeah, 2.8k. Okay.
I just had a look there, and I might actually hold off the Njai to Gehi move until Saturday. Well, it'd be Sunday that I'd make the move. So Everton play before Palace then as well,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Njai won't be off to AFCON at that point. So I always prefer to wait an extra game for the extra information, especially with injuries, etc., cropping up.
And Bournemouth, I don't get the extra game for Bournemouth really. Sorry, just looking at the Everton and Brentford. Brentford. Sorry, not Everton, but they play the same time. Ugh. Bournemouth. Bournemouth and Brentford. Sorry, ignore me. I'm talking arse. They play the same time. It's ugly. Anyway, FPL. You didn't play a chip this week.
No, I didn't have a great. I say I had an average week. I mean, average against the masses, not against the engaged managers. I only got 40 points for the week, and now my team is in tatters for the midweek round the
Oh
games as
wow.
well.
Okay.
I'm just not like I could take a hit. I'm just not convinced that there's not going to be a lot of rotation.
Mm.
The player I'd be bringing in has to be guaranteed to start, and I'm just not not sure that I can take that gamble. I've already moved Gabriel onto Timber with one free transfer. Senesi getting booked in the 92nd minute or something like that to get suspended has royally done me there. I can't imagine Reinders playing against Fulham after playing at the weekend there. I don't know. I've got Sar as well. So it's Reinders or Goodmanson would be the two people subbing in.
Over to
Any
Chelsea.
any hit, I just don't know that I like it. Like,
Yeah. It might be worth waiting. Just get anyone. Even with Goodmanson, we could get the points. I don't know, mate. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough being on the back foot, isn't it?
yeah. But yeah, so not particularly great, and I don't see it improving anytime soon, to be honest. Wait till the five transfers come in and then think of a new strategy at that point. I think is where I'm currently at.
Yeah. I had a fairly decent. I'm happy with my week. I played free hit. I scored 57. I've seen some big scores. I've seen some 70s and even 80s on free hit. I didn't have Gakpo, so I did have Foden, which I was really pleased because I was even about going with him. He was my main point scorer. Thiago 13 as well. So they were the two, but they were the only returners apart from my two Villa clean sheets. I did have a quick look back. I'm always scared to look back at what my old team would have scored. And on my old team, I would have had Saka and Van Dijk, and that's it. So I'm happy. I'm thinking I'm probably about between 15 and 20 points up on the deal, which I'm pretty happy with. And a nice green now. I'm just outside top 1 million now. I've got a good team going into this week. Obviously, I've got the Sarr injury to deal with. Who are you thinking of for Sarr replacements? Have you had a think at all yet?
Um, if I was going to take a hit because I didn't think my players would play, then Minta or Rice were the two players I was looking at.
Yeah, I was looking at Rice. I didn't really look at Minter's fixtures, but he's probably the one I think. And he Rice.
He's got three homes in the next four,
Oh,
I think.
yeah,
Brighton's been playing pretty well recently.
yes. I think he'll probably be my move. I was looking at Rice, but not sure with Odegaard back, the impact that'll have. Whether Rice will drop back a bit, Zubimendi drops out. I can't see him not playing Eze. I think they'll probably ease back Odegaard, but I think
They have got a
Minty is
lot, they have
nailed.
got a little break. They've got a little break coming up. They do have a free midweek, so you can rest up players at that point.
But yeah, overall, really happy. I wildcarded in game week 10 at 2.7 million, and I'm now sat at 1.1 million. So is that three game weeks later, four game weeks later. So I'm pretty happy with that, and like I say, I'm pretty well set for this week. Um,
You,
and
you captain Haaland.
unsurprisingly, I haven't given it much thought yet, even though I should because the deadline is
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. But
So,
I haven't. Away to Fulham. Ooh, I don't. Do you know? I haven't even looked at it. I gotta be honest. How about you?
I've got Embuemo, and I know that he's not. I know the last two game weeks haven't. I think he's only got 1 point in both game weeks.
Mm.
Or yeah, that's right. Because could be picked both. Just if I was punting on somebody, then that'd be where I'd go. I don't own Saka as well, so he would obviously be an alternative to Haaland.
I think if Ateta could finish his dinner away to Burnley's a nice fixture.
Yeah,
I had
I'm.
Saka.
I would have not been as optimistic at Mateta starting had Nketiah not just come back from injury and then he got subbed on early
Or
for
Sar.
Sarr.
Yeah, I agree.
So he would have played all of the minutes. If he hadn't and he came off the bench, like for 30 minutes or something like that, I might have been a little bit more worried about Mateta starting, which all could have blended into the Dream Team update. But yeah,
I think I'll probably be Haaland still. I think. Um,
Fulham's been playing pretty poor this season as well, right? I know they say they got a win against Spurs, but
as in everyone.
an away game to Spurs is like a home game for everybody, is it not?
They've only won Spurs three times at home all this calendar year, and only once this season. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like absolutely ridiculous. It's so frustrating as a Spurs fan. Completely disillusioned again as I was, towards the end of last year. Just nothing. Just not showing anything. But yeah, it's interesting the captaincy. It is interesting. I just can't help but feel like Haaland is going to play, right? He's not going to play. I don't think.
Oh, he got the rest last midweek in the Champions League, didn't he?
Exactly. And Joe, wouldn't want to be a bit too clever and end up captaining someone who does get the rest. And then what am I doing? Why did I, and Haaland gets a
Plus, I guess if you're
brace.
cheating Haaland for the goal booster and Dream Team as
Wanting
well.
to score more and more. Yeah, I'll have a think. I'll probably go Haaland. And I think I think if there was a really good alternative, which I don't think there is, if there was an alternative I was really confident in, I would probably go for the other player. But the ones I would look at, Semenyo home to Everton. Semenyo hasn't quite been hasn't quite been doing it recently. And Wemo home to West Ham, and Wemo hasn't. Again, United, they're just so dodgy. And Saka, um, home to Brentford. Apparently that was Saka's first. I'm listening to Adam Hopcroft here. That was Saka's first assist in the Premier League in 12 months, which I was
Oh, really?
well, according to Adam Hopcroft, which I was amazed with. And
Because he's still taking some set pieces as well,
yeah,
right? I know that's
according to Adam Hopcroft, the last one he got was a year ago in the Premier League, and he's only got four. What was it? Four returns or 4 goals in 23 games or something like that. It was just or 4 returns in 23. It was just to highlight that while he's a wonderful player, his actual FPL performances have flattered to deceive
yeah.
quite a lot. I would say Viney is going Bruno Fernandes as captain, and he could be one I maybe be a bit more tempted
Bullish.
by. But yeah, I'm pretty excited now on FPL. I think the roles were very much reversed when you wildcard. You had your nice little
Yeah.
momentum run. I'm kind of on mine now, and yeah, set up really well, and obviously got the 5 transfers. So I'm hoping to make a bit more ground before then, and everything gets sort of equalised then on it. Just as an aside, it's interesting. If you have got your wildcard left, I was talking to Rich Clark last Thursday on Green Arrow, and he was saying about using his wildcard in game week 16, which I just could not get my head around for a moment, and but obviously I can see
Because you
you're
get the
struggling
five
as
what?
such.
Because you roll it what? Because you retain the five
Exactly,
transfers.
exactly. And I just couldn't get my head around it. And then I was like, actually, you're wild carding and you have 5 transfers. He's going to basically have a minimum of 2 or 3 transfers
Or you
for
could
the
work.
next like 10 weeks, isn't he?
The same argument would be made in game week 17 or 18
Yeah,
as well, right? 'Cause, yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It is. Yeah, but it
Because I
was
think
just an
Holly Shand, I think I saw her update, and she's taken a hit this week, even though she's got a wild card in play. But I can understand when she talked through her
yeah,
logic
yeah.
of doing it, and it was something similar. She's got a bench boost, so wild carding in 17, bench boost in 18. I
I
think
think I
was
think Rich was targeting a specific fixture swing in 16, which is why he was going
yeah,
for 16 specifically. I think. Oh, it was
yeah.
Arsenal. I don't think he's got many Arsenal. I don't think he's got any Arsenal. Maybe. I think Arsenal might be home to Wolves or something. So I think he was. That's why that was his reasoning, which I
Yeah,
suppose makes sense.
and they've got a rest midweek after that game, so there's no need to rest the players in that
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. So I'll probably go Sata Minter, and then I've got a really nice 11 going into this week. So yeah, just plod along really in FPL if I can get to Afcon around sort of 700k. I'm pretty happy with that. Season was at 2.7 million a month ago. Dream Team is where all the action has been happening this week, haven't it? In terms of
Yeah,
boosters and and everything else. How have you done? It sounds like you've had a good week.
yeah. So I'm pretty close to the template team, which is when you're that far down, that doesn't sound like a great thing, but at the same time, I feel like that's the base that I can work, I can rework off again.
You sound like me in
I have
FPL.
had, yeah, I have had a good week, 80 points. I know a lot of people were disappointed in the goal booster, particularly because of Captain Talent, but I've had four goals out of mine, so pretty happy with that. Mateta, Voltemade, and
Mm,
Foden double as well. So yeah, I've had a pretty good game week thus far, and obviously got midweek to go, and then I can get Timber finally in at the weekend, and then I can make maybe some sort of vanity move, or I could move Rogers to Doku or something like that, that kind of gets me very close to the template. I've been looking at the fixtures coming up on this, and so this midweek, the next 5 game weeks, Crystal Palace is the only team that doubles in
yeah.
every single week. So they've got 10 games in 5 game weeks. And now Sar's out, which Sar was my transfer out this week as well. So I feel
Nice.
very fortunate in how that's worked out. So I've got no intention of losing any of the defenders. I know they obviously didn't keep the clean sheet at the weekend there. And if anything, I might actually go and pick up Gehi to add to what I've already got as well. So that's an alternative option of what I've got. As always, we'll see how the midweek plays out. But I don't know that we need to chase the rises as much as what we did earlier on in the season just now. And maybe when Palmer comes back, albeit I don't expect him to start every game for a while still.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point, and I was really tempted to chase some rises this week, but I also played the gold booster chip, and I was just of the mindset, and I really held firm on it. I made one transfer. I took out João Pedro for Doku, which I should have done last week. I had the opportunity to do it last week, and I didn't because João Pedro was getting a rise, and he had a decent fixture against Burnley. I think was it Burnley in which he got 1 pointer and then didn't play against Barcelona. So I should have just done João Pedro to Doku move last week. I did it this week, even though Doku wasn't on a rise. But Doku's an animal. He got 8 points this week again. From what did he do? I don't even know how he got them, but he didn't.
Or they just got the 5 BPS, I think.
No. I just having a look now.
Was it
No,
not?
with two big chances created, two
Oh,
tackles,
sorry, he got
and
three. He
three
got three.
bonus. It's just
He got three bonus. Yeah.
just madness. So yeah, I'm on 352. So I did that one move. I played the goal booster. I've only got 3 goals. I personally, I'm not, and I was kind of fighting with myself a little bit this on Friday when I was writing my article for the Hub, and I was going through it, and I was thinking, I think it's the right week to play the goal booster because I think I would have had 11 players play in as far as I think all my 11 players, even though SAR's injured now, are capable of scoring goals in any games, and I think it would be very easy to go and chase more points from maybe better potential goal scorers, which you can
Yeah.
put Igor Thiago in there, who I know I would have won out again really quickly. Salah was kind of iffy. I was tempted to go. I think if I could have easily got to Salah, I might have. But I held, and I feel good in that I did, and I had the discipline because I held on to Foden because I've been tempted a couple of times to get rid of Foden. He's been complete feast or famine these last few weeks. Was it
Yeah.
28 pointer, 2-1, 24, or whatever, absolutely crazy. But all most of the rest of my team, Saka 8 points, Enzo 5, Doku 8. I know they haven't scored. I've only got 3 goals on Go Boost, but I see the chips, the boosters myself, and I know not a lot of others do, but I just see them as a bonus to enhance my score for 1 week. I don't like the whole thing about
Building a
building a
strategy.
strategy
Weekly
around it because
transfer.
I feel that transfers are far more important. Holding the transfer back, especially in this period when we're going to see a lot of injuries, a lot of rotation. There's lots of weeks coming up where certain teams haven't got 2 games and some have. So I was on an hour and I'm up to 5 transfers now, which I'm far more. I would rather have 5 transfers than score an extra
There's a
15
there's
points
an interesting week where you can
personally.
there's an interesting week where you can benefit from this, right? So in game week 16, there's 2 teams have doubles, and it's Crystal Palace and Arsenal. So you could be loading up with like Eze,
A load,
Rice, and
yeah.
it's not like loading up on Arsenal players is a bad thing, right?
No,
And
no, of course. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna look, but probably gonna use 1 or 2 this week, I think. But even so, still, I'm kind of happy. Well, I'll obviously, I'll be getting rid of Sar. But to your point as well about the cash, I do agree. I think it's got to a point where you are right. I haven't got Salah, I haven't got Palmer. There may be people who want Bruno, for example. I don't know.
yeah.
But I have got kind of everyone else I want. I've got the Arsenal defenders. I've got the expensive Palace defenders. I've got Saka. Saka was a key one for me.
Well, it's just
Obviously got Haaland.
Palace has just like
Yeah,
not broken the game, but just with the volume of fixtures that they've
it's just
got and the
allowed
fact
you.
that Glasner very seldom rotates, right? And they're a good side as well. It's just
So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this period now, and I'll probably I'm always using at least one on the weekend. May use 2. I may use more depending on what happens at the back end of this, but I'm not. I don't think I want to hold zero point 0.3 players who I'm not particularly bothered for holding for moving forward.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think there's no one really shouting at me. And Doku was also an EO move actually, because he was probably the only player. The only other player was Van der Ven, who can hurt me, like really hurt me. And I'm not interested in him anyway. So Doku was also an EO move as well as a thingy move, and it's working out well. And half my rank again over the weekend, up to 600 now, and I've got the goal booster active. So I'm pretty hopeful with a couple of goals to get into the top 500 with 5 transfers and a good team, which is exactly where I want to be. So I'm much more bullish and excited about this game than I am the other two of hopefully really kind of challenging over the coming weeks going into the New Year and Christmas in the top 200 or 300 hopefully with the transfers in hand obviously, but we'll see where we go. As we know, it's very much a momentum game.
Did you see Elliot Anderson score at the weekend?
Was it nine
Well,
points?
it got corrected, ended up with 20.
20 what?
The underlying bonus metric. Like
Oh,
what takes
sorry,
you.
the
So it takes you
yeah.
what, like 12 it is to get the 12 it is to get the 5.
Goodness me,
You got 20.
that's absolutely crazy.
I think it's the highest I've seen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's definitely the highest. There might have been others, but certainly from recent memory.
I've got my eye on Forest, but they do have 2 single game weeks coming up, don't they? After the next week, actually.
You're right. Like in the position that you're in, there's nothing for you. There's nothing that forces you to play to play the moves there. For most of the teams that double, you've already loaded up on the majority of the players anyway, right?
Even like Enzo, he's not the most exciting pick, but they've got Leeds, Bournemouth, Atlanta, Everton, Cardiff. They've got that extra. They've got the double, and maybe I'll get rid of him then potentially. But
Yeah,
there's no need to
away
get rid
Newcastle.
at the moment. So I quite like it that Sal's injured in a twisted way. Again, I think
Well,
about
you
it a
want to
bit
be. Well,
differently.
you want when you're high up, you want the game to be template, and it's when you're further down that you don't want it to be template.
Well, I've also got loads of transfers, so now probably most people are going to be forced to use one of their 2 transfers on Sal this week.
Yeah.
And I want loads more injuries. I want people firefighting. But yeah, good stuff. What does that mean, mate, for the
I am
league?
currently in 33rd place with a average mini league rank of 34.7. You're up in 22nd now with an average mini league rank of 30.3. So a lot of places, but it doesn't feel that big that significant a gap in terms of average mini
No.
league places, which I'm holding on to. And then looking at the top 10, we've got Ben Parkin in 10th, Johnny Curry in 9th, Keith Ledger in 8th, Danny White in 7th. We've got Anoop Raja in 6th, James Northup in 5th, Peter Clinch in 4th, Gary Carter in 3rd, Dale Pointer up in 2nd. Now, remember having a few ding dongs with Dale back in the Sky fantasy
Excellent
mini
player,
leagues
isn't he?
back in the day. Very good player. And Carl Weeks still out in first with a mini league average of 9.7. I think Anoop Prashant must have had a good jump. I think he was outside the top 10 maybe the last update we did. So looks like he's had a good week.
Well played, and yeah, no one ran away with it. The lowest average 9.7. Carl's, I mentioned it, is TFF, the same as Dale. Not letting them down. That's a bit of a say, sort of letting them down, but sort of dragging down their overall average. There's no one sort of with an average of like 4 or 5, which we've seen in previous years. So I think it's very very open still. Just want to give out a shout out to Chris Sharkey, who also visited with Paul Barbados on the weekend, who sold my. I can't even say his name properly. I was winding him up in the pub on Saturday because I was saying, I can't believe you sold Mark Theo. He's like, that's not even his fucking name.
Well, do you know how he's been relentless and hurling abuse at me? I remember poking the bear by saying no blood relative of mine would transfer a player before he scores a double. So
Yeah, it was really. I say funny. If I was Chris, I'd be fuming because Chris is having an excellent Dream Team season. He's 10th overall in this, and um, that is with selling the bracing Malik Chow. Well, that was a funny moment. Not for him. Um, yeah, I suppose strategically over the next sort of week or two, what are you sort of looking out for? Any sort of teams or players in particular who are catching your eye? Any tips?
It's,
Any format?
and again in Dream Team and Telegraph because of the cup games, it's too hard to look past Palace and Arsenal. I do like them into shout in FPL because, as I said earlier, Brighton's got 3 home games in their next four, and
Nice.
he is the form player for them this season. I didn't realise it until yesterday. I think they're up in fifth in the league now as well, so it's kind of went under the radar a little bit in terms of how steady they've been. Um, so yeah, I'm into. I actually need to think of who I'll do for my picks for Telegraph for the hub article this week as well.
Oh, sorry,
What do
go
you
on.
think of Do you think Salah starts midweek?
I think so.
It's a weird one though, right? Because Liverpool's been so poor recently, and they put out a pretty good performance at the weekend. They restricted West Ham to not a lot, so I guess there would be a notion to start the same team potentially, right?
I don't think so. I just think it's all the games. Isak isn't fit. He's not fully fit to play 90 every week and stuff. I think there'll be a rotation. Vert is back from injury, I think was it. I just think it was a complete and utter rest, and maybe a kick up the arse as well. To get him sort of fit and firing. I wish I had him this week on free hit because Sunderland haven't looked as robust defensively. I think as they have. But happy to have Van Dijk in FPL this week. Just a note on Brighton. I think Mitoma's going to be out. I think for a little bit still, and Max de Kuip.
They keep saying he's back. They keep
Yeah,
Ursula keeps saying he's back the following week
but Max de
with the
Kuiper
Kuiper.
played left wing, I think, and was on corners and scored the goal. So if we get word that Matoma is out for a few weeks, then de Kuiper obviously playing as a defender could be an out of position really really good option because for the goal I think it was it Minter assisted the assister to Rutter, laid it
Yeah,
the path to Kuiper, and I was listening on the radio and I was like, oh, how is de Kuiper that far forward? But he was played in that absolute apparent. So just one to keep an eye on in terms of a nice how nice would a double up be to have De Koper and Minter, two of the front three, especially De Koper being a defender. Just one to keep an eye on, maybe.
yeah.
But good stuff. Yeah, just maybe urge caution. Maybe if you're chasing. I haven't done it in Telegraph, and it's gonna hurt me. I was looking yesterday on the Liverpool Arsenal. I think the thing which tipped me over the edge to go ahead and do it was Arsenal had a 3-for-1 over Liverpool straight away, which I shouldn't be looking at that at this stage. It doesn't matter. It all evens out. I guess it's going to end up Liverpool are going to have a 3-for-1 back over or whatever. So it's just
Yeah.
but I was kind of just it was all a bit rushed because you get the news, don't you? You get the news of the things, and you're all of a sudden like you're kind of all of a dither, and I dithered into a double transfer, which I wasn't planning on making any.
Two Arsenal players in though, like the home at Brentford
Yeah,
midweek. Yeah,
you're right. Okay, mate, good stuff. Thanks to everyone who joined us today. Just a quick shout out to Manchester, FPL Sparta, Mark Williamson, Viney, as we said, and Stephen Whale. Hope you've all had good weeks. We'll be back next Monday, I think. No, you're
I will be.
not. No, you're not. You are away again, abroad again, aren't you?
I'm working this time.
Oh, you're right. You've done a lot of air miles these last few weeks. The wife will be having a word, I'm sure. Especially when you spend your spare weekend down in Barry on the piss in the social club instead of home with your beautiful family.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, mate. Thanks. Thank you, and thank everyone else, and see you all sometime in the near future.